this one is this one's going to be called the Wii U versus the 3DS. Yeah, the Wii U versus the 3DS, but this one's also going to be random like our other ones. So I'm just going to start out reading what I wrote down about the Wii U and 3DS. So I'm going to start with the comparison of the launch titles. The Wii U had a total of 13 more launch titles than the 3DS did. That would be 31 compared to 18. Nah. No. It was, but we didn't, so.
Yeah.
We're still here.
We still have the same clothes on.
I have 533 minutes to figure out what we're going to do.
I feel like it was an obvious attempt there to better the home console sales versus the 3DS launch, because the 3DS launch was really poor, and they didn't have that many games out for it at the same time. And the Wii U had 31 compared to 18.
Hey, we should do another ambassador program.
So, with the 3DS, they only had 3 Nintendo exclusives, which were Pilot Wings Resort, Nintendogs&cast, and Still Diver. And none of those appealed to the hardcore gamer. None of them did.
Well, the main problem with, I think, both launches for them has been they were trying to let third parties shine. Because third parties always like, listen, we do okay on your console, but you still are Thunder. Because they do that all
That
the
is a
time.
good point. Because see,
And I think they were like, okay, here's your chance. And then they had nothing. And they were like, guys.
they
So now
had
they're like,
several-
screw you.
They had several third-party games on the 3DS. They had the Super Street Fighter IV, they had the Sims 3, MAdden NFL Football, Pro Evolution Soccer, Lego Star Wars 3, Ridge Racer, Super Monkey Ball 3D, Bust the Move Universe, Samurai Warriors, Rayman 3D, Asphalt 3D, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon 3D, and Combat of Giants Dinosaurs. All 4 of those last ones were by Ubisoft. So,
Well, I'm gonna throw down my personal opinion about Nintendo's handhelds, and I love the 3DS. I think it's awesome. But I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I'm gonna take this from words of John and words from many other people.
John Lasseter.
John Lasseter. Jeez, I would be here.
Adrian would have had a heart attack, God, and gone to heaven.
If I heaven as John. Oh. Wow.
Edit this one.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna have to give me a minute now to recover from that one. No, but John from GameStop, as he said, the handheld gaming systems, as much as they are fun and they have exclusives, they are going downhill, and there's a specific reason why.
No, not really. That would just be the Vita.
Well, just hold on. Give me a second.
Sony man, you got to realize there's a world outside the bubble.
I'm not dissing on the Vita. What I'm saying is I love the 3DS. I'm going for the Vita too, but I'm not saying because of that. I'm not saying because of sales. I'm not saying now. It's not going to happen now, obviously, because they're doing
How
fine.
will they ever go down?
Well, just
If anything,
hear me
it's the
out.
home console market that's in peril.
Hear me out.
Okay, I hear you.
The phone business nowadays.
Oh, I count that.
Because I mean, let's look at Apple.
Not directly, but I count.
I mean, I agree
I see
with
what
you.
you're saying.
The Apple community now has some serious games that they make, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Angry Birds is now.
They didn't make that, but I know what you're
Yeah.
iOS games.
It's
iOS games were good. Now, I will say this: I don't think Nintendo should ever stop making handhelds. I don't, but I think
And
that
they won't.
I think they should, however, do this, and I think this would be a smart move. They don't have to have their own phone like Sony does, which obviously Sony sucks, but anyways. They should, and I think this would be a smart strategy. I mean,
I would like to throw in, I actually prefer Sony phones. I really do. And cameras. Sony phones and cameras.
well, cameras are
really
awesome.
nice.
Cameras are awesome. Cameras are awesome, but this Sony Ericsson.
Thank you,
This is my
Sony.
3rd model of the thing, and it's driving me crazy. But I'll be honest. I think that if Nintendo was to take some of their old school like games like Super Mario Bros. And put them on a phone, just for download, cheap, whatever. It could be on Apple, it could be on Samsung.
They already
whatever.
download on their own systems and
Well, I mean-
$5 for it. They're making money that way.
Yeah, I don't want them on a phone.
But I mean, well, think of it
But
like
now
that.
They're releasing
If they-
apps.
If
like
they made a
Gamerz.
game
You
for
know,
a
there's
phone,
an app
like it's
actually
brand
out.
own new
They could-
series, that would be.
That could
it.
well, I
possibly
mean,
give
But
you memory
the reason
from
they can't do
the
that is because if they did that, investors would go,
and
okay,
put
they'll
it
give
in,
them that.
like,
They can
copy
never
the
do that
code
because
over
investors.
Yeah, that
If I was
is-
investing in that company and I saw them do it, I'd be like,
whatever
I'm
data
selling.
you
I'm
have,
selling.
If
And they would
that
crash.
app has that game
Well,
on
that's
it,
true.
True.
You have
Because
your data
that would
from
be
it, from
Nintendo
that game.
admitting
You can
in the eyes of
continue your
people.
story
It wouldn't
right
actually.
there.
That's pretty
From
good.
People would
Nintendo
see that as a
64,
sign of we give up.
I think
We
the
lost.
number one
That's a
game
good point.
that
And I don't think
was
that,
like
I
in
don't think
the
they'll ever
would
do
do
that.
it either.
description of it was.
Well, I mean,
Mario
not unless they-
Brothers,
like, really
or,
Sony's now going for
like Mario
PlayStation
64,
Mobile,
whatever it
which
was.
is from phones to Vita
And
to every console, or to
that-
every
that's- yeah, I didn't
computer,
have to
whatever.
save
Which
data.
I mean, that's a smart strategy
yeah.
because you
At
can
my
connect
house,
or anything.
couldn't-
I think Nintendo. I mean, yeah, I think it would be cool if they did bring back some of their old games.
Now
and put
there
it
is
on the phone.
the Pokemon Company,
Well, that's true.
where it's not directly. They made apps for the.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're games or just apps.
Well, I mean, it's just, I think that the iPhone community, because I mean, when you think about kids nowadays, I mean, when you think about us when we were growing, we were either outside or we were playing a game. Majority of kids nowadays, and Joshua, you know this, are on the phones. Majority of the time.
Look what it did to his face.
Yeah. Come on, man.
It made him go Amish.
Actually, I don't even pay attention in school anymore.
You're on your phone.
Honestly, yeah.
And busy churning butter.
They need, which I know people are gonna hate this, but they need like one of those things that like shuts off electronic devices
No.
in schools.
They're going to put that in cars, so
No.
why not in schools?
No.
I think it's
Then kids would not have anything to do while they're at school. So.
They
Yeah.
actually have to learn. Holy crap! Back to Nintendo. Back to Nintendo.
They started as a car company in the 1800s, correct?
Yes.
Ooh, we got real quiet now.
You know what? Back to the school subject. I do agree. Okay,
Rather than Nintendo.
back to Nintendo this time.
Nintendo land.
So, I mean, I don't think Nintendo is ever going to go downhill with handhelds, and I think that they're going to be okay. But I think that that phone community, whether Nintendo wants to admit it or not, is an up-and-coming market.
I don't think they.
I think that's a problem for all three of the big.
Oh yeah,
games.
it's a problem for everyone.
Because like Ubisoft, for example, they can go to the phones if they want to, and they already have several times. And
Third-party developers
it
can go
just-
all over the place. They don't care who's on top. I mean, really, because
Cylinder
Yeah,
is
'cause
on
they can-
iPhones now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And there's, but
Okay,
that's a
that's
good
not
thing though, because
It's not very
even
good
though
on the iPhone.
even though
But-
like I don't really like the iOS games as much as other games.
Batman Arkham City Lockdown's awesome. Just
Yes.
so you
It is.
And see, like, even though I don't like them as much, that's a sign of the gaming community growing as a whole. And that's a good thing, because I'm all up for the gaming community expanding.
plus this gives a much better market for these indie developers.
It
to
does.
get in. Although Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft are
Kind of
none of
stuff.
that through their.
Well, I mean, this is another interesting subject about what
Shops
the
and
Wii can
stuff.
do. And this is what, now I don't agree with this fully, completely, but this is what one of the Game 7 employees is telling me, that he believes that eventually all games will stop being disc derived and go to Steam and download.
Wait, is that David
Which,
Jaffe?
in a way,
I'll probably be
Was it
too
David
old to
Jaffe?
play that.
huh?
Was it David Jaffe that said that? He was saying
No,
that.
no, it's a guy from GameStop, but I do remember David Jaffe.
Yeah, he
saying
said that he thinks
The
consoles
Mohawk.
are going out. If you're wondering what I'm doing, for some reason this was blinking green. I have no idea why.
Which, I mean, I do agree with that.
No,
to
it's-
an
Been
extent.
watching The Great Gatsby. Everyone's gonna get that.
I do agree with that to an extent, but I mean, it would probably make things a lot easier for companies as a whole. But I mean,
It would save them money, but at the expense of a lot of old school gamers being like, my case, I want my manual. But
The only way I would
Well, now
ever
they
be
put
like, I'm
digital
okay.
manuals.
The problem is with digital games is they should be cheaper to.
exactly, they should be cheaper because they're
because
saving
of
money on
the
it anyways.
distribution.
And when
They don't
do
even
that-
have to be. I mean, they can make them. They can knock off $5 and it's still cheaper, and they're still making profit. I
pre-order
say-
bonuses should be included with the game.
And-
too.
and if
You
they're
should
doing
have
that-
to pre-order on like Steam to get a certain
Yes.
amount of thing, or pre-order from this website to download, or pre-order from PlayStation.
Well, that's how they
download.
get things with like.
But like what they should do also is if they're gonna do that, when they put out this console, I want a giant, like a ginormous, like table-sized hard drive in my console, so I don't have to worry about ever filling it up.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
PlayStation's already taken that step for a downloadable.
Yes, and
game.
that's the one thing about Sony. Like, well, not the one thing, but that is one of the big things about Sony. They always have a massive hard
Which
drive.
I mean, what I love so
Their
much about
systems are so bad.
what I
Yeah,
love so much
PlayStation.
about this is just that the fact that now you can download stuff and you can play it as you download. Because I mean,
You can play as you.
yeah, Like,
The new Wii, no,
The Wii U feature does that
it's
now.
not play add-ins. Not what you're downloading.
You download it in the background. You can
yeah,
play it.
I see what
while
you're saying. Yeah, okay.
like as it's
It's
down
just
to
a,
PS.
oh, that's what you're talking.
Yeah.
I thought you were like playing the game you're downloading.
Oh no, playing game you're downloading. PS4
So
does
if you
it.
just get too far, just
Like, it like does a certain amount. What it does is when it starts as
it downloads
It
a certain
downloads a
extent
certain-
before it lets you. I see
yeah,
what you're
and
saying.
then
Okay,
you
that
start
makes
playing, and then it continues on its own play. But I mean, that to me is a good start.
That's
I
a
mean,
great.
sense. If it works.
if it works, because I mean,
It's a slow transition, but eventually I think we'll get
I
there.
think.
Well,
Well,
I
I think like it'll be sort of buggy at first. and
They'll have to make all the consumers happy first, though.
well, I mean, what
then-
intrigues
Well, the
me.
big thing they need to do is I think they can't do PlayStation 3 again, where they're like,
No.
let's make this really expensive, not have a whole lot of games, and then put everything on our old system for a couple years.
Well, I mean,
It's like that's their business.
they already said that they were going to stop. They were going to keep going to PS3 till 2015. So let's see if that holds true. But I will say this in defense of the PS4. The PS3 was developed by Sony. This one was.
Well, I guess that's
Do you think they're being somewhat rushed out into the console market because of the Wii U? Even though it's technically...
I'd say, but the thing that makes me feel comfortable about it is the fact that developers from PlayStation have put input into this console. They told them what they
Well,
wanted.
Nintendo did the same thing, except the third-party companies, and then they all backed it.
See, I think that's where Microsoft's problem comes in. I don't think they really do as much.
Control? Do what?
Yeah,
Console control?
they're really controlling over there. Like Nintendo and
That's why
Microsoft.
Bungie left.
How can we call Microsoft controlling and not Nintendo?
Well, yeah.
Nintendo is so... That's
Which they're not
so
as bad as they
controlling,
used
they
to be.
created their biggest competitor. They created Sony. They're like, hey, Sony, we want you to compete against us. And they're like, what? Deal's off.
But like back to this though, the Wii U versus the 3DS. Comparing the 3DS versus its competitors, which this is a very bad one, but this is just a little info I put in. Comparing it to the Vita from Games Radar, which I'm not even going to read it, but because everybody knows, but the 3DS is outselling the Vita and has been since launch. And the 3DS or the Vita sold
Mainly because
137,000 less than the 3DS managed in the first week of launch.
Well, I'll say it like this.
But the price there,
That's a big killer. But it's not just that. It's the fact that, as much as I hate to say it, the PSP, yes, it had its good moments, but it still just could not compete with Nintendo. It will never compete with Nintendo. And
But it's a good thing it's out there because I like having
it's nice
the PSP
having a new, like a
like a
it's a
competitor
different.
because like until now it was.
I don't want two Game Boys out there. I mean, like, which one do I want?
Well, I
I'd
mean,
like two different things.
the good thing about the Vita is its potential is not fully there yet. Yeah, they started it and we scratched it, but I mean, they said it completely that
Scratch
this
the
was,
screen all up, can't play it.
this was
What?
more for
Lost
the
my air.
PS4 than it is
Sitting
for
on the air
PS3.
now.
I hope they're not just like saying that.
I hope not
Like a
either,
big too loud.
but I mean,
I lost my hair.
I have to take their word for it. I have to trust them until I get the product.
It's like they don't say anything about it, and they're like, "Oh, by the way."
Well, maybe that was the whole intention. Maybe they just wanted to get out there and then just be like, for the PlayStation 4, the Vita is more interconnected. Because I mean, yeah,
It makes sense.
the PS3 has its connectability with it, but I mean,
I just
it's
hope it was designed that way and not like
yeah.
shoehorned in.
Which I mean,
I'm out of this.
like the PS3 has its connectability, but I mean, it's not like. I guess it's just only like with Sly Cooper, for example. You can use the Vita to find certain treasures. That's pretty cool. But I mean, besides that, you can get PlayStation 3 games now on the Vita. Yes, you have low resolution. But I mean, you can get All-Stars, you can get Sly Cooper, you can get a lot of PS3 games on the Vita now. The Vita is the most...
Cross-buys.
Cross-buys are awesome.
that's
they
the-
are
Those
really
are
good.
best idea.
That's that and Assassin's Creed Liberation is why I want them.
Well, I mean, Batman is another prime example of that. It's just that they are smart, and they're doing it with 3DS too. But I mean, just being able to jump to handhelds with a different system, I mean, that's just a nice break. Because I mean, yes, you have Arkham Origins, which is really this big anticipated game, but they're breaking it down in a different way with Blackgate, to where it's a
Isn't that ex-retro
it's
studio head guy?
I don't know the
working
name.
on the portable.
Do you have your Game Informer with you?
Yes.
The Batman one?
Yes.
I don't know who's doing it. Do you remember?
It's ex-retro guys.
I don't
I
know.
think.
But it's a 2D style Metroid Batman.
Or is it?
It looks pretty cool, actually.
Is it like the old SNES beat 'em up-ish ones, or is it different from that?
I don't think it's that.
I'd say it's kind of like the
I kinda
iPhone.
like it. Oh, iPhone.
Well, I mean, the Arkham City lockdown. I mean, it has the free flow combat included. Which, how that's going to work as a side scroller, I don't know. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see.
But going back to this is starting the sales, the Wii U sales.
Isn't the Vita Outsold, or did that stop? I know it was.
No, I can't remember. I think it actually,
It stopped.
yeah. But in the Wii U sold over 400,000 units in its first week of sales.
Yeah, it was wasn't the highest launching console Nintendo's it, right?
I think no, the Wii was higher.
Okay.
I
thought
think.
they sold more.
But-
At launch day, I think.
Let's see. That was the first week, and the week after they sold about 700,000. And
How's this one so serious?
and but now it's starting to decline. Let me give me a minute. And that information was from Games Radar. And then I'm trying to find. Okay, so this is the one where the article where they're talking about the 3DS and the Wii U and how they share a similar launch. And see, now the 3DS, since its launch, it's doing really good right now. And I'm thinking the Wii U is going to pattern that because it's not doing good at its launch, but it's doing.
Yeah.
It'll
But
do
a
good later.
lot of the games that are like, these games are coming. Probably not for a while, but they're coming.
Yeah.
A lot of them are like, a need.
Yeah.
I say when Pikmin and Rayman Origins comes out, hopefully this year.
Legends.
Well, Rayman Legends isn't coming out until September.
And it's multiplayer,
Which even if it
which
is-
still helps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with those, I think the Wii U then will probably, especially with Pikmin, I think it will.
Pikmin will help.
Yeah.
Although Pikmin's always been like the one of the
Yeah,
lower
it's
because
not
it's from the
as popular.
GameCube era. And anything from the GameCube era is a little lower in the pay because that didn't sell so well.
Except for Luigi's Mansion, because Luigi's Mansion,
Well, that
oddly
is
enough,
but it has a sort of cultish thing.
So-
its
about
first,
Bioshock.
yeah, it outsold Bioshock, and that surprised me because
Yeah.
I did not think it would do that well.
No.
It doubled.
So quick.
In its first week, it doubled Bioshock. Bioshock sold about 200,000 copies, and Luigi's Mansion sold 400,000.
Well,
Which I think,
they're doing good.
I think a lot of people worried about Bioshock because it was not in Rapture, and it was just like a very different experience.
That's why I was interested.
And for those people who are worrying, stop it and just play the game.
Stop.
Back to the Wii U versus the 3DS.
Yes.
This one I wanted to talk about the Wii U compared to the 360's launch and the PlayStation 3's launch. And the reason I'm comparing this one is because I don't know why, but I've heard a lot of people saying that the Wii U launch was good, but it wasn't great. And I'm really curious about this because
The goodness thing, you couldn't even find it.
the PS3. Now this information comes from two main sources: CNN and IGN. So, the PS3, when it launched, had 12 games available, and one of them was Sony exclusive. It was G&G Days of the Blade, and that was North America only. I think they had more over there. Yeah. But anyways, its first 2 weeks of sales, it sold 197,000 units for the first 2 weeks, and that's global. The 360 had 18 games, but 2 of them were by Rare. But they, in their first 2 weeks, they sold 326,000. However, they did so bad in Japan. Bad. in
Microsoft's still doing terrible in Japan.
Yeah.
So much so that
Japan. Sony and
they're
Nintendo
like, hey, if you play
are
this many
Japan.
hours, we will give it to
and
you
everywhere
the whole country
else.
free.
But now the Wii
That's
U,
pretty bad, man, isn't it?
at the Wii U's launch, they had 31 games available. And after counting them, there was at least 11 exclusive. Not all Nintendo, but exclusive. Or ones that have exclusive content.
Well, for the Wii U or the Wii?
The Wii U.
Well, how do you not? I know what you're saying.
And in its first week of sales, it sold 400,000 plus. So I think that's really successful
Yeah.
because for the PlayStation 3 and the 360, I gave you the 2 week total. It's launch week and the week after. And the Wii U, that's just its first week. So,
Yeah, like they said, it was doing great. It's just they didn't.
And
this
exactly, and it's like it went whoo, and now it's like dead. It's like there's no one buying them because there's nothing there for them.
Well, I mean, let's just be honest on this. Okay, PlayStation obviously was not going to sell well because of one, big thing besides the fact that the 12
$600
games.
bucks.
600 bucks right on that thing.
But when they
Nintendo-
price dropped it though, that's when they
That's
started
when
making
it
money.
went
'Cause when
crazy.
they
That was
price
like
dropped
3
it-
years later.
Yes, but when they did price drop it and they made the slim version,
That was it.
that's when I got mine.
Yeah.
But I mean, for example, let's look at it like this. Nintendo was smart when they priced the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were very... I'm sure that it took them
They
a
lost.
lot.
That's the first time ever they've sold a system at a loss.
I was about to say, it probably took a lot of
But
them.
I
just
guarantee you
to
they're
do it.
making up their money for it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because when you buy one, you're going to buy another
Yeah,
game.
because I think he said one
One
system and one game in profit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now let's see in the future if Sony and Microsoft will follow this. My guess is they won't. They think that
Another
people-
little unfair thing is Microsoft and Sony can be like, okay, we can not, like Microsoft. I'm pretty sure made absolutely no profit on the original Xbox, right? Like it's like
they little to none.
like
I
they,
don't think
like
that.
they almost it was almost a complete loss. The 360 thing, but I think it was almost all a loss. For,
Sony's always been pretty successful.
from a business standpoint, they made money, but they didn't make.
Well, I mean, where Sony struggles, I mean, they got the exclusives, and they've got like
They have a lot of companies to manage it.
They have
So
a lot
does
of
Nintendo, though.
But what makes Sony suffer compared to the Xbox is their online connectivity. I mean, I'm not saying their online's bad. I love the fact that it's free, but I'm just saying there's just a small amount of, I guess, a social. Because I mean, it's just like, I hate to say it, and it's true, but Xbox is kind of like the
The interface is also kind of clunky.
it is
What
interface.
was- Which one?
PlayStation 3.
His interface is very clunky, but I mean,
Like I
X-
don't like the way Xbox's new menu looks, but it's easy to get around.
I mean, it's simple,
It is.
which I mean, they said they're working on that with PlayStation 4, so we'll see. But it's the fact that Xbox is more kind of a social thing. I mean, yeah, you
Which
can
I think
go
they're
and play
taking it a
games.
little too far
Yeah.
the next time.
Go back to look.
Because, like, and I think it was someone from Nintendo, I can't remember who said it. I think it was Reggie. But people buy a game console first for a game console and second for apps and social media and everything.
Yeah, right.
Because, like, I'm not going to buy the 720 or the PlayStation 4 to get on Netflix. I mean, I got a laptop for that. I can do that here.
Exactly.
Which I mean,
I
that-
will buy it for Halo or, Uncharted.
And if all these other things come with it too, great. But if I'm not just going to get
If
this
they don't come with it, it's not bothering me at all.
what bothers me about this is the fact that it is striving to seem towards the social media, and
Which
they
sucks.
seem to be perfectly okay with that. Which they may know what they're doing, and I'm not saying that it probably won't be awesome. I'm sure a lot of people are going to buy it. I'm sure it will be good, but it's like he said, I buy it for games. I don't buy it for all television networks and stuff. I want to play a game that I can literally just get away from everything.
So now this part is about the 3DS, but when I say this, this is what they need to do for the Wii U. But the 3DS, and this information is from GameSutra.com. But the 3DS is the number 2 selling console in the US for the quarter one of 2013. Now, I've got 11 3DS games. Okay, Fire Emblem Awakening, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Super Mario 3D Land, Mario Tennis Open, Spirit Camera, Kid Icarus, Kingdom Hearts, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Paper Mario Sticker Star, Epic Mickey, and Roller Coaster Tycoon 3D. Now there's 11 other games that I've counted that are equally, on par, as awesome as those are, that I could buy instead of those games and still enjoy the console. Lego City Undercover, The Chase Begins, Mario Kart 7, Brain Age Concentration, Tetris 3D, Star Fox 64 3D, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Virtue's Last Reward, Resident Evil Revelations, Castlevania Lord of Shadows, Mirror of Fate, Harvest Moon: A New Beginning, and Nintendogs&cast. And then there's 7 right now that are going to be released this year or sometime this year or the beginning of next year. Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate, Mario Party, Mario and Luigi Dream Team, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past 2, Yoshi's Island 3DS, Mario Golf, and Animal Crossing New Leaf. If they would do that right there with the Wii U, with all that software and support, I think it would sell.
It would definitely sell.
Because instead of
If you have games to play, you will buy.
exactly.
Well, I think that a big part of it is that now that it's kind of like the 3DS is now kind of coming to its stride, and now Nintendo sees that, and
I'm
now,
surprised by how monstrously powerful the system's become
I mean,
compared to how it looked.
I mean, it's sad because I mean, you can look.
I mean, it's not just a lot of games; it's a lot of great games.
You can
Yes.
play Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, compare it to the original on PS2. And it has stronger graphics and more abilities than the PS2 did. I mean, Tetsuya Norma commented on this, that he said that ideas for Final Fantasy Versus 13 was put into Dream Drop Distance. That flow motion fighting style was supposed to be in Versus 13, but instead, he put it in Dream Drop Distance. How much fun was that? Well, that changed the whole fight.
See, I was actually worried about that when I first found it. I was like, that does not seem, I don't want that.
It's so sporadic and everything that until you're actually playing it, you're like, it's just crazy nonsense. But then you're playing it and it's like, it's fun.
It feels very sad.
This
Makes
is where it's
sense.
Now just imagine what that's going to do in Kingdom Hearts 3, because he's already said everything that we put in Dream Drop Distance. I don't know about Dream Eaters, but they will be in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, he says all sorts of stuff.
Well, he does say so. We're going to make Kingdom Hearts 3 in 5 years! 700 years later. What?
What happened to it? I thought we were supposed to have that like a long time ago. I need my teeth.
But the last thing, as far as the Wii and the Wii U and the 3DS goes, I was just going to get from the videogamecharts.com the top sellers, and this is global as of the 13th of April. But as you guys can see here, I'll put it in the corner. But see, this is not the Wii U. This is the Wii.
Yeah.
Okay, now the Wii U's not even up here yet, and that's because the Wii is somewhere around this. The Wii U.
From the Vita.
It's a little bit over, I believe. I can actually pull that up, but I'm not sure how. And see, and this right here really surprised me with the PS3 and the 360
Very
are
close.
really close, and that's interesting.
I can't believe the Wii is still selling that much.
I know, it's crazy.
Well, what's
Considering the Wii U
interesting-
is a Wii.
It's interesting to me,
I think
and I find this fascinating, is the fact that if you look, like I've told you before, if you look
The
at
Wii U's over the Vita.
Yeah.
if you look at other countries across the world, especially in the European and on over,
UK.
UK, starting from there, you're going to see a very distinction start to happen. You're going to have Xbox 360 players in the UK and around that area, but the more it gets farther away, the more it's going to go to PlayStation 3 and Nintendo. And when you come back to America,
Microsoft is an American-based company.
it's very American-based. And that's where most of its profit comes from. Which
Yeah,
North
that's
America.
that is true. Like right here on the
But North
360.
North America is also like the biggest gaming.
This is really bad, but in North America, the 360 this is as of the 20th, okay? North America, the 360 sold 43,000 units. In Europe, it declines a little more. It only sold 30,000. In Japan, it only sold 429.
Oh.
That's really bad.
Wow.
It's really bad.
Compare it to the Wii U. In Japan, it sold 8,000, and the PS3 sold 14,000, and the 3DS sold 72,000. Okay, that's as of the 20th of April. And
How
the
does
only
Microsoft
thing,
screw up that bad not to be able to market that thing at all?
Because
the only thing
they
that's
have
lower than it is the DS, and it sold 59 copies. That's really bad.
Well, I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, you've got a heavily influenced area that is
That's
surrounded
true,
by
but-
Nintendo and
Yeah.
Sony products. They don't need Microsoft at all.
I don't. It's not.
and they might
it's
have
not
a
just
sort.
that.
They
I
might
don't
have a
think they
certain
want
sense of
loyalty.
Yeah.
I don't think they want
Or it's from
Microsoft
the-
either. I think
No.
Microsoft should kind of put
They
it
probably
there,
still
but
send
not
it.
as much. Like they should send over about 1,000 units and be like,
Right.
okay, if you guys want it, there it is. If not,
Yeah.
and if they sell out, be like, okay, we'll send some more. If not, they should just keep it over here. And that would
do
save
the
them
whole
money.
NES thing. Market it as a toy.
I wish they did that
Work
again.
it out.
Which, I mean, the fact that the 3DS is selling so well is awesome. It is wonderful.
Konnichiwa.
Because, I mean, do you guys remember when the DS first came out?
Yes.
I mean, the DS was the shiz. I mean, you had to have a 3DS. You just had to.
Yeah, you still have to have a 3DS.
I don't have a 3DS.
You gotta get
Or
one.
you get one.
You gotta get one, Josh. Get with the program.
I don't have the money.
But, I mean, the
Will you
3DS...
buy it for me?
When's your birthday?
Actually, May the 2nd, so that's...
Don't forget it.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Buy it!
You've got all these wonderful games, and I mean these are games that like can match up to Sony exclusives, like Uncharted or something like that. And I mean, these games are legit wonderful in every aspect of them.
These games are actually games.
Yeah.
They're real games.
Now, if
Not fake.
the Wii U was to take that process, put it with them, the Wii U would be unstoppable. It really would, because they did do what gamers wanted. Yes, we love the motion gaming a little bit, but we still want that game
Controller.
And they fixed it, and they still gave us the innovative Wii U, the Wii, Nintendo. Yeah, I mean, they gave us everything, but they just need the stronger games. And once that happens,
Yeah.
the Wii U will be. That's it. There will be no match.
It's a good thing to love all three of the big three because
Oh yeah.
no matter if one of them screws up, you still got the other ones, and you got your content. Like you got your Halo and you got your God of War and you've got your Mario, so that's all you need.
So then here's the interesting debate.
2008, Jack Black. He slept with all three consoles. That describes my life.
No, I don't have a debate to follow that.
Yeah.
Before I forget though, what do you guys think about Nintendo not going to E3? Well, not doing the press conference at E3.
They're still gonna be there.
Very odd.
Like
The media,
personally,
they're gonna display their games.
personally, I think that is a huge mistake. I mean, it's not like terribly huge, like that's going to destroy you, but it's pretty huge.
Yeah.
I think that's going back to the eyes of the investors. I don't think that's a smart move. I don't
Yes.
think it looks good. But then again, they basically do everything they would need to do, and then some.
In the directs, yeah.
Well, I'll give
It's like-
credit to Nintendo because I can think of a company, a game developer specifically, who does the exact same thing, and they have some of the most loyal fans in the world, and that's Rockstar Games. They make a presence at E3. They come to E3.
But they're not.
It's
They're
fake.
not producing a console.
They're not producing a console. No, they're
They have
giving
like a game and a half.
Yeah,
And
but
they
it's
also
different.
don't
what
have a
they're
console failing miserably.
but what I'm saying is
Needs
they
support.
have GTA 5, which is, if not the most anticipated game of the year for many fans across the world. People are dying for it. Do you think they're bringing it to E3? No. They've never brought their game.
Mhm.
They brought Red Dead.
Yeah.
That was it. They've
Oh,
never
for
brought
sure.
their games to E3 because their strategy, and this is in Jack, and they always come. They always come and watch the press conference. They never make any interviews or comments. They just watch the press conference and leave because they want to see what other people are doing, and then they base it off of that. I think if Nintendo was to take that would be a good strategy. Now, do I think it's a smart idea with the PlayStation 4 and the 720 coming at this E3? No.
See, the reason I don't think it's a good idea is because Nintendo has their directs, but those directs go directly to the customers who have a Wii U or the Nintendo fans who want a Wii U.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you have to.
and
you have
even
to
though
go
the
to the
press,
it's hard to
even
get
though the press covers that, and other people are going to read on IGN or GameSpot or wherever they're at, oh, hey, the Nintendo Direct, and they'll read about it. It still doesn't cover as wide an audience as E3 would. And the big part is, PlayStation has already announced their console. Wii U's already out, and Xbox is coming May 21st.
Well, I think one thing that might possibly be beneficial is this will cause it to be more focused on the games instead of like
That's
the
what I'm
fluffed
saying.
out sort of conferencey thing. I
Like-
think this might make people. It might just be like, boom, 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 boom. It'll feel like you just get everything at once, and it's like, whoa!
Yeah.
Which I'll say honestly, like this.
While everyone else is sort of
I don't think this year's E3 is going to be as good as last year's because
Probably not.
console
There's not-
announcements. Whenever
that's-
you release one, it's like, look at this!
and that's pretty much it. But the thing
It's a
about,
tech demo.
but the thing about it is that makes it struggle. Besides the PlayStation 4, what do you got there for Sony? Anyways, what do you got? Because a lot of your games are still coming out on PS3. You can show us Assassins or Watch Dogs to the Hills Come Home on PlayStation 4, but it's coming out on PS3 too.
And
people's not gonna get it.
it's coming out on 360, probably 720. Some of those are, like, I'm guessing Assassin's Creed 4 is going to be on the Wii U since number 3 was.
Oh yeah, it's on the Wii U. It's
Oh,
already
yeah.
on.
It'd be ridiculous
It's-
not to.
And,
Hopefully, if they do it on Wii U this time, I hope they do a bit more with the game. They probably won't.
you know what?
I'd like to.
You know
I'd like
who's
them
going to
to
win
same
E3 again this year, though? Ubisoft. Because they blew everybody out of the water last year. They were the only surprise last year. It's like it's like the game developers are like, yeah, I know that E3's always been about, surprising the audience, but we're not going to do that anymore.
It's never been.
Well, I'll tell you a smart
People will
strategy
manipulate it.
from Sony. releasing The Last of Us near the same time as E3.
Yeah, but that's going to be like a crucial element for the PlayStation 3, though.
Oh, it's going to be fine.
Oh, yeah,
The
it's
Last
gonna
of Us
be.
is going to be fine.
I know it will be.
There's no doubt in my mind. That
Anything
The Last
Naughty
of Us-
Dog does is going to be fine. Naughty Dog is the Rare of Sony.
Crash Bandicoot.
It's their jewel. Like that is like if anything happens to Naughty Dog, then everything else is
Get
going
in
trouble.
Well, I mean,
What would you do if like a Bayonetta 2 sort of thing happened and Nintendo like got an explosive Naughty Dog?
Oh.
No, I don't want Naughty Dog on anything other than my PlayStation. And I want Naughty Dog to stay where they are.
well, I think they don't think.
Naughty
they
Dog
will.
knows what they're doing.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I've always said this, and I always will stick to my guns, that the three trio of PlayStation, well, I take that back, the quadruples of PlayStation, are Naughty Dog, Sony Santa Monica, now Sucker Punch, since they now got into it, and Quantic Dream, who made Heavy Rain. Because they will do whatever David Cage says after
Yeah.
Heavy Rain came out. They will do anything he wants.
Yeah, that was a hugely popular game.
Beyond Two Souls is going to
Yeah,
look
that's
awesome.
so
Shit,
awesome.
freaking
It's going
like
to sell.
script placement. The thing was
It
like
had-
this freaking
It had
thick.
Did you
over
see
2,000
William
pages.
Dafoe's
Over
character?
2,000 pages.
He looks
my God,
exactly
like
like William Dafoe.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, man, they really did it.
Yeah, the
awesome
Beyond
job
Two
with that.
Souls is like we want it. They're taking interactive media to a new level
Yeah,
What?
based
And-
on what the concept.
it's going to be revolutionary as far as games go.
This is-
there's
this
going to be a
is
lot
the-
in there
really
that's
should
not
be.
been
This
done.
is a year of
before.
PlayStation. This is a year of
And the year of
PlayStation.
Luigi.
This year.
And the year of Luigi as well. Which actually, I take that back. This is not just the year of PlayStation. This is the year of 3DS as well. Because I mean, with Luigi's and Pokemon and other big games coming out for the 3DS, I mean, it's
A
just you've got those two will be the competing consoles for this year. And I hate to say that about the Wii U, but it's true.
It's true. Oh, at least it will be until they get games out. And
Yeah.
I don't know if
After
those
it
games are
depends
coming
on
this year or
when
not.
those-
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say.
Which, this is just a rumor, it's not announced, but I heard that Mario Kart for the Wii U and one of the other Mario games were supposed to come.
the new 3D Mario.
Yeah, I think. It
Well,
was supposed to
here's-
come this year, but
Isn't
I don't
the new?
think so.
Well, it's this for the 3DS, but isn't A Link to Past 2 supposed to come out this year too?
Yeah, but see, like Mario Kart is one thing, and a lot of Nintendo fans like that, but it's not enough. They need Mario or Zelda or Metroid.
Well, it'll
Or
help.
Star Fox.
It'll still help.
Well,
bring
here's
the
something
system up, I
interesting.
think.
And I want a Fire Emblem game.
3D Mario on it.
Well, here's something interesting
A
that
lot.
expresses the
Like,
idea
3D
of
Land showed us.
a
gave us some
company
Mario.
struggling.
Yeah.
Both Microsoft and Sony reported that both of their prequel titles, Gears of War Judgment and God of War Ascension, did not sell
Didn't do good.
as well as their last titles.
And I'm telling you what, they said that I've seen like things that said it was because there's been so many people don't care about them anymore. But I tell you one thing that I think it is because they're prequels.
Yep.
Everybody already knows what's going to freaking happen. You know, people are more excited for a sequel than a prequel.
Yeah, that is true. Although I guess like. Is
Origins
anybody else
is an
here like a
exception.
story
Yeah.
buff? Like I
Yeah.
think you are, right? Like
Like
you
what?
story, like a story buff.
I really like story.
I do.
Yeah.
I love having a prequel or like a spin-off just so I can
Yeah.
expand that universe.
Yeah.
Fair
in my
argument here. Kingdom Hearts' prequel was a good valued addition.
Yes.
Birth Mistake.
Which one?
But I mean, like Josh was
That's
about
awesome,
to
because
say,
there's
yeah.
so many.
Arkham Origins is an exception.
Yeah.
Disney Infinity is what's going to kill me.
I'm still really apprehensive about buying that game.
Like
Even though I want it
you
so
owe it to
bad.
you owe it to yourself to at least buy the starter pack. Like you should. It's only $75, and that would be like a collector's edition. And that way you could play the game. You could have your 3 figurines, and you could play the game
What system
comfortably.
are you getting it for?
Wii U.
I'm thinking that I'll probably do it for Wii U.
And like whenever you're like, oh well, I don't have a game to buy this paycheck, and I got a little bit of extra money, I'll go pick me up another figurine. And, it's like the LZ.
Until it turns into Skylanders, and you're like, there's, you're like,
they're everywhere.
you're selling
There's
your,
a million.
you're
There's more
selling the
Skylanders than
stuff.
there are Pokemon.
That's
selling the
that's
chairs.
why I'm
About
worried
the
about it
houses.
because I can't do
You know,
that.
Every
there's, you know-
Disney character.
Yeah, there's more Disney
Smash.
characters out there than there are Skylanders.
Yeah.
So.
Now, I will only buy another figure if they bring out the mouse. If they bring out the mouse,
We're gonna bring
I
out,
will
like, Oswald
punch.
and stuff.
If they bring out Oswald, I will kill someone.
It's gonna be like a
I will
collectible.
stab them
They're only
in the
gonna make
right
5 of them.
Like
and
this is
they're gonna be
really
$1,000.
this is really bad for me, but right now for some reason the one I'm most excited for is Perry the Platypus. I don't know why.
This guy's not
Because he talks like Doofenshmirtz.
I love Doofenshmirtz.
I can give credit to Perry because Perry is a big deal.
Perry the Platypus.
See, there it was. Oh man.
Yeah, but
I always thought
This
that
This is like we've done 3 podcasts.
Oh man.
I love Phineas and Ferb.
Somebody's got to do.
That's like the best thing Disney's done cartoon-wise in years.
Oh,
Well, it is
it's
really.
Rocko's Modern Life. I told you that, right?
What about it?
The creators of that are the people who made Phineas and Ferb, and they tried to make it in the 90s, and no company would pick them up.
They tried to do what?
Phineas and Ferb. They tried to make it in the 90s, too.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Thank
Disney.
you, Disney. That's the best show
Thank
ever.
you.
Well, I mean, I hate to say this, and as much as Phineas and Ferb is a popular success, I do really miss like the old school Disney.
Like Timon and Pumbaa.
Well,
Welcome to our television podcast.
House of Mouse, Lilo and Stitch,
Yeah.
Buzz Lightyear Star Command when it first came
Oh,
out.
Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
Do you ever
why.
watch? Do you ever watch?
I always hated that show.
Are you serious? What is it?
Bonkers.
Do you know who played Buzz Lightyear in that show?
Tim Allen?
No.
Patrick Warburton.
Right.
Could have been.
Patrick Warburton? Are you serious?
Who was
Like-
Patrick Warburton?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
He did a good job, didn't he?
How did he do that? Like, his voice is very distinct.
I know.
Very distinct. Like, I can usually be like, that's that funny guy. That's Patrick. Like, how did he do that? Like, I gotta go look this up now.
Yeah, he did good.
But I mean, they did that show, and like even Stevens, and like
Oh, yeah.
Kim Possible.
Kim Possible was
Kim
a great
was
show.
flipping awesome.
You know what I don't understand is why didn't they release the series finale on DVD?
Chippendale and DuckTales. And Darkwing Duck.
Oh, yes.
Now we're getting real retro.
Tailspin.
Tailspins.
I got one for you.
Tailspin.
Mighty Ducks.
Oh,
and the
Mighty
cartoon.
Ducks.
Yeah.
And,
What about
you know,
gargoyles?
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, yeah, man.
I grew up on Nick, but I saw all this stuff on Nicktoons back when they had Nick, or not Nicktoons, but Disney. Toon Disney.
Yeah, Toon Disney.
Why did you make that XD? No, we don't need 2 Disney channels.
Well,
that,
I mean,
that broke my heart because
my
I finally got
favorite-
it, and then they killed it.
My
Yeah.
favorite show of all time on what used to be Toon Disney was House of Mouse.
Oh, yeah.
I
That
love the
was
House of
the
Mouse.
best.
Yeah.
It
show.
was,
I used to watch
because
it
it showed
every time.
program.
It was like
Old
new and
shorts.
old at the
Yeah.
same time.
They need to bring maybe that or bring something like that back. Cause that was a
That
good
was a
blend
huge
of the old and
success.
new.
Yeah.
That's a good way to bring back Oswald, actually. If
Yeah,
you
that'd be
really
great.
wanted Oswald,
Do it. Do it.
let's just put
Don't,
him
they-
back in
don't they
Oswald.
own the character of Oswald?
Oh yeah, they got him back in
How
2006. They traded a news
I mean, like-
broadcaster for him. No,
That's
honest
awesome.
to God, seriously. Like I can tell you what happened in this meeting. Bob Iger was with Universal about discussing trading.
No pizza.
for-
No pizza
I
for
can't-
Kitty.
I can't remember this
I can
guy's
see
name.
Disney doing. I could. That's a small price. They would have been like, here's
Bob,
half the park.
but Bob Iger was like, they were discussing for this news broadcaster. I don't remember. He did it for ABC, and he was like,
I'll give you a Star Wars.
he just stopped in the middle of his conversation with him. He's like, "What about Oswald? Is Oswald? Do you guys still have the deed for Oswald?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You know what? Just forget the deal. Just give us Oswald. We'll give you him for Oswald." And they didn't even take any money from Universal. They just wanted Oswald. They just like, "Just give us back
Universal was
Oswald."
like, okay, I'll
Okay.
And
See, like,
probably after the fact.
Disney, I don't see Disney
Who put the
investing.
green light on?
You idiots!
You traded him for a sports. Think of the money.
Oh, someone is
Like-
so disappearing.
Disney wouldn't invest in something if they're not going to use it later, and I think they're going to bring Oswald back somewhere in cartoons.
Well, they've already
especially
said-
now that they shut Junction Point down.
I know they want to.
You
At
should
least
see
some
what-
of them do.
You should see what they're doing in the park. Oswald merchandise is everywhere down there now. I mean, it will sell. People will buy it.
Oh man, I'd love Oswald.
But this
I
is
don't know
the, this is the interesting thing. Now they've already said that they're going to make a Mickey Mouse film. Now this is where
About
it
time.
turned me off. It's not just a Mickey Mouse film. They're using Roger Rabbit in the film as well.
Whoa, with
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, I've heard
This
something
is
about
yeah,
that.
it's a different thing. This isn't like I know what you're saying though.
But I mean, they
Which
want to
that's-
bring Mickey back to
It's
the big screen.
it's like
That's
I'm
okay
trying
for
to get
me
it
because I
greenlit
like.
to Disney. Like,
I like-
it's not Disney's not like going
the original movie.
Yeah.
I mean, they want
That's a
Mickey
good idea.
Mouse to come back to the big screen. It's the goal of the thing. So I mean,
That's.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
Oh,
It's all the making
there's
of the
another
class.
subject we need to talk about.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so and no one like just hear me out with this. I want to talk about a game that came out quite recently,
I'm gonna punch
and it is it's about a character who they have defined really amazingly, especially with their artificial intelligence. And of course, I am speaking
Elizabeth.
of no. I'm
What?
speaking of Portal 2, the companion cube.
Oh no.
Because no, I'm just kidding. I'm completely kidding because the companion cube does that. But I am talking about Elizabeth, and like, I want to talk about
say, hang on now.
like you don't even realize it. But here's what happens: you start your game, you're by yourself, and when you get into the combat, you're like, this is cool. And then Elizabeth comes in,
Had to wake
and
up.
you learn, you work together, and then later in the game, they just take her away from you. And you're like,
You realize
I know,
how
it
alone
hurts.
you really are.
you don't think about it, and you run into your next battle.
because you're so used to AI being like.
And like, so you're
Right.
running around, shooting these people, and they're relentless.
Yeah.
They're coming out of everywhere. They've got these huge guys called Patriots. They're just swarming you from all around. Next thing you know, you
Are you
realize,
guys
oh,
killing
hey,
the magic for me, Annie, when you talk about this, or do you think not?
Nah, that's
Magic.
pretty.
magic.
Of the game.
Yeah, that's there,
oh,
but
no.
that,
Yeah,
I think
it's
like,
kind of.
here's
okay,
what
mechanical-
happens. Like you see
mechanic thing.
a tear, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna hold an X and have Elizabeth open that, and that machine gun's gonna come, mow them down for me. Oh wait, I don't have
She
it.
does not
Then
do
you're
it.
like, oh no, my gun's out of ammo. Switch to the next one. Uh-oh, it's out of ammo too.
Yeah.
No one's here to
Oh,
talk to
crap.
me. And you're low on health. Uh-oh. No, Elizabeth.
Well, I
You get low on your magic. Oh, no, Elizabeth.
It's not just that.
Man,
It's
it
just
is
of how in
some-
touch in the world she is. Because I mean,
Exactly. I
you
love
could
it.
sit there, not do
Watch her.
anything.
Yeah.
Watch her. She will go do whatever she
Yeah.
wants.
Yeah,
It's
she
amazing.
explores all on her own, and at the same time, she's always there with you. Like, I mean, she'll walk up to stuff, and she'll be like, oh, look at that. And if there's a chair and you sit in a room too long, she'll just sit down. She'll lean up against the wall, whatever.
This game
But
sounds so good.
another
it
part
is.
is she'll go into the
It
corner and she'll be like, hey, there's a lockpick over there.
Yeah.
And if you look where she's looking, you'll see a lockpick. You're like, oh wow, I would never have seen that.
Speaking of which, did you go in that pub in the slums
Yes,
and find a guitar?
yes,
Wasn't that cool?
it was, and it was really random though. But yeah,
Yeah.
like you find a guitar and you can actually sit down and start playing it, and she like sings and
Yeah.
walks around while you're doing it.
It was. I mean, it's
It's one of those small details.
moments.
yeah.
But-
Well, I mean, Ken Levine, they asked.
Those are the moments that sort of define games.
Yeah.
Another thing is she's an essential part of gameplay because there's moments when you have to open up a tear
open up the tears,
to
I've
get
seen
to
that.
another part, but there's also moments when like she can lockpick and you can't.
Yeah.
So you have to get her to lockpick for you, but you have to find lockpicks.
For her.
And you can't really find lockpicks easily without her because she helps you find lockpicks.
She has better eyesight than you.
And it's like
Yep, she's
Oswald,
never seen anything
for
out of
example,
the-
like
the
Oswald,
towers.
like there were several times in Epic Mickey 2 when Oswald would get in your way, or he would know what he was supposed to do, but he wouldn't do it. And I've never encountered this.
Oswald, little rabbit, what was he doing all those times? I'd be like,
I got
I
it.
remember I was playing it the other day,
Nothing
and
happens.
he just like vanished in this one. I don't know what the heck happened to him.
Well, I mean, that's
And
just
then
like
there's this
sad
electric thing I
with
didn't even
every
turn on.
AI.
He
That's
wouldn't
almost
do
the
it.
case.
He just came,
For
came out and
example.
he stood there and he looked at me. It's like hitting the button and I'm like,
As much. The only AI that I could think is just as responsive would be probably from Left 4 Dead 2.
It's not.
It's a funny
It's not
comparison.
anywhere close though.
It's
Yeah,
not
no,
anywhere
no,
close,
no,
not
no.
anymore, not anymore, no.
Like what they did with Elizabeth, that is the best part of the
Yeah.
game, and it is the most like that will set the boundaries for artificial intelligence forever.
Oh, yeah.
Since then.
Well, I mean,
She doesn't just run and shoot or do something, like Taylor.
You don't have to protect her in battle. She will take care of herself. She'll find her own cover and everything else.
well, Ken Levine, they asked him before the game came out, they said, so who's the big daddy of the game? Because, I mean, that was just the biggest part of Bioshock, was the fact that the little sisters and big daddy, what they said, it's a songbird, who is it? And he's like, well, truthfully, the songbird is the intimidating part of it, but it's not the songbird. I guess the evolution from System Shock to Bioshock with Big Daddy is now Bioshock Infinite and Elizabeth. Because we put every ounce of work and sweat and blood and tears into Elizabeth. That's been the reason we've delayed it so many times. And was
Yeah,
because
this game's just great.
See, I tell you what's going to be the bad part though. When you finish it, you're gonna be so sad.
Well,
I mean, you're gonna be like, that that it's over with.
well, you will be sad that it's over with, but I was very shocked at the end of the
Oh
story.
yeah, you'll be shocked for like days.
You will feel sad for a little bit, but then
Yeah.
you'll be like, you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
You'll accept it.
You'll accept it.
I like those two like characters that reappear constantly throughout the game.
They are creepy,
the
actually.
Lutesses, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're really creepy, actually. They, oh my god, they mess with you.
I know.
They're-
do.
You
mess
really
with
just
at
pop
the
it in right now. You just need to.
You gotta finish it.
You really
Oh,
need to finish it
nuts.
right now.
I
Like
do,
right now.
but we need to play Cartoon Network also.
Oh, God.
We need to end this podcast. Like, let's end it now.
Yeah.
We're gonna go play. So yeah,
We're playing
Oh, and
games.
by the way, Sadie, call me.